Welcome back to 91 North, 95 South. I'm your host, Max Nemeza, and I noticed we got some new listeners, new viewers last episode, so I decided, it wasn't a big decision. I thought it would be a good idea to give a brief little introduction to myself, or the podcast more specifically. We're a small podcast here. I run it myself, so producer, host, designer, etc. I decided I'm making all these big decisions, man. So we were originally a duo podcast, and then one of my best friends, Dan, had to step away due to a new job he had started. So I took up the reins myself and decided to keep it going. We were originally covering all sports, all four major U.S. sports. Then we kind of transitioned out of that into being just a basketball podcast. So here we cover the NBA and WNBA. So when it's, during this time, it's pretty much just WNBA coverage, and then as off-season moves happen, we'll cover that for the NBA, and vice versa. So, we try to have you covered throughout the year with all your basketball needs. So, I guess I'll tell you about myself. I just graduated college within the last year, so I'm just kind of transitioning into the workforce. I love movies, sports. It's pretty much it. I don't know. Love hanging out with my girlfriend, my friends. Yeah, pretty basic guy. I like music too. Not really sure what else. I'm always bad at like the intros at work or when I was in school. Like tell them about yourself. I was never really good at that. I would just say, at Max, but my major and I like basketball or something. Pretty much it. So I'm just gonna get into the basketball coverage for today. I just finished recording this on Sunday, just finished watching the Sky versus Fever game. The Fever winning that 91-83. I think a lot of the discussion today, after the game, will be obviously about Angel Reese, Caitlyn Clark matching up against each other once again. But for me, the story was really Aaliyah Boston. This is, for me, easily her best game of the season. She and Alyssa Smith really changed the game. Well, really her on the glass really changed the course of the game in the second half. The Sky had 11 offensive rebounds in the first half and 1 in the second. And I think the Fever had maybe 1 in the first half and 4 in the second. And I think they also had 4 more defensive rebounds in the second. Aaliyah Boston also just overall had a great game. She finished the game 19, 14, 4, and 5 blocks. So I think just her kind of figuring out, I think the pick and roll game with Caitlyn Clark was huge. They had a couple good possessions where they got points off of that. And I think she just is kind of finding her role. There's obviously adding a piece like Caitlyn Clark to this team is going to make new roles for everyone on the offense. So I think she's finally kind of adjusting to that. And I don't know what Christy Side said at halftime, but they really cleaned up the glass in the second half. As far as the Sky, I think they were relying pretty heavily on Marina Mabry and Kennedy Carter to create for them on offense and to get second chance efforts, second chance points from offensive rebounds in the first half. So I think when you take those two things out of the game, not that they had solid third quarters, but in the fourth, Marina went 2 for 7, Kennedy went 1 for 3, and like I said, they weren't really getting those O boards anymore, so they were kind of shut down offensively, and the Fever end up holding it out, winning it against the Sky. I also thought they might have gotten more favorable foul calls this game. I think the officiating was a little bit more in the Fever's favor this game compared to the last matchup. Not that that really impacted the game. I don't really think the Fever won because of that, but I was noticing that it was definitely called a little bit more tightly as far as when the Sky were fouling the Fever. But that's pretty much it for what I have to say about that game. I think the Fever are looking really good. Well, they looked really good in that game. I think it's kind of what I was talking about last episode as far as just they have so much talent. It's kind of hard to see them not putting it together in some way at some points. And I think you're starting to see flashes of that, like with games like this. So I thought I would just kind of wrap it up quickly. I just have some quick hitter points on the rest of the team. Well, not the rest, but a few of the teams around the league. So the Sun kind of play with their food sometimes. It seems like they can be a little lax, maybe defensively, not as crisp offensively against teams that they don't have to really compete as hard against to win. So I thought their game against the Wings was really great, where they start off really great. They kind of kept that momentum going throughout the rest of the game and end up closing that out. They're continuing to look really good, really tough. So, I mean, not much has changed there. They're still on top of the league, only lost to the Liberty. So, speaking of the Liberty, all I have written down for them is they continue to look really good. They're second in the league, third in the league, second in the league. So, yeah, they're really good. Not much to say about them. The Aces, I wrote down Asia's back is going to be really sore by the time the playoffs come. Like I said last episode, the Aces are missing players, and I think they're missing Candace Parker a little bit more than we might have thought after they had won without her for the majority, if not all of the playoffs last year. I can't remember when she ended up going down, but they seem to be missing something. I guess Chelsea Gray is. I mean, obviously Chelsea Gray is an incredible player, but they just really don't look like the same team. So I think they need that place setter back real fast, because Asia's dropping 28 a game, and they're 6-5 right now, 6-6. So yeah, they really need to figure something out. I feel like them trying. What's her name? Oh my God, I really don't want to be disrespectful and say Caitlyn Clark's teammate, Kate Martin. That's who it was. Kate Martin in the starting lineup. I feel like that was kind of Becky Hammond being like, guys, I don't really know what I can do, but I'm really trying. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. The Storm have not been cruising like they were. They were, I I think 7-1, 7-0 before they lost a couple. I think they were like 1-2 or something in the last couple of games. Maybe 2-1. I don't know, but they don't look exactly the same they did. I mean, they were just getting they looked like they could beat any team in the league pretty much through that stretch. So, obviously you don't expect that for a brand new team, but I think they have a bit higher of an upside to the Liberty last year. I only compare the Liberty and the Storm because, big three team, adding two of the big three in an off season. So I think they do have a bit higher of an upside just because it seems like they're gelling a lot faster than the Liberty did last year. So, but I also think that the league is a lot better this year than the last year. So I think that's probably why they're not like dominant like the Liberty were last year. I mean, the Aces and the Liberty were really the only two super teams in the league, and you could probably argue that most teams have two star. Maybe not most teams. A lot of teams have 2 stars. Every team has 1 star, and most of those teams have all-stars on their team or potential all-stars on their team. So I just think the league is a lot tougher for teams to kind of walk all over the league this year, and maybe that might be a little bit of an issue for the Aces. I think they are back-to-back champions. Obviously, you can't match that energy they had for that first run, and you certainly can't match it for the second run, and it just kind of goes down and down. So, and obviously people are coming for them even harder. So, yeah, I mean, I think that all kind of plays into where they're at now. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it I have on the Storm. They still look really good. I really like Ezzy Magmagor's game. I think her jump shot is kind of coming along, and I think if she really puts together an offensive game, she's had some 19, 20-point nights, and if she can do that consistently, I mean, that is going to be a scary team. She just set a new record for most consecutive games with 2 or more blocks that was held by Lisa Leslie before. So, I mean, that's pretty good company to be with. Yeah. So, shout out the Storm. I really like watching them. They're a lot of fun. So, I definitely also have to start paying more attention to the Lynx. I know Lynx fans are going to be like, yeah, man. Yeah. But I'm not going to lie. I thought they were a little too underpowered to compete with, like I was saying, like some of the star-heavy teams in the league or, a veteran team like Connecticut. But who should have been the MVP of the league last year? If we're going to keep it real. But anyway, still upset about that. Yeah, I just thought the Lynx might be a little underpowered to compete with teams. Nafisa Collier is really the only star on that team. I don't want to be one of those podcasts that's like, they have more stars, they're going to win. But I mean, to a certain extent, it does come down to that and the team that you can put together around them, obviously. But it's basketball. Stars are important. So looking at the Lynx, they only got Nafisa Collier, but Sun fans know how good Courtney Williams and Natisha Heidemann are, so that's no surprise. UConn fans know how good Dorka Juhas is. Alana Smith has been playing well. Caitlyn McBride obviously can shoot that thing. So they just have a really solid team around their star, and I think Cheryl Reeves is a good coach. So I think that's, they were in the playoffs last year. I kind of discounted them as well. And I don't think they are a team that should be counted out. So, I apologize to the Lynx. I will stop my disrespect and I'll watch more of your games. Stop yelling at me, please. Now, the Wings are not doing good. I think the Wings are 3-8 right now. I'm doing most of this off the top of my head, by the way. I just have some notes written down. So if I'm getting stuff wrong, I'm sorry. I look at this stuff all the time. I'm trying to just do it off memory, but, maybe I shouldn't. But I am. So stop yelling at me again, please. The Wings are not doing good this year, but they could be if they get and stay healthy, because they have Satu Sabali, who throughout her young career has not been able to stay healthy. But when she has, she's played really well. They also have Natasha Natisha Howard. I'm so sorry if I man, I'm losing it. Losing the plots. If they can get and stay healthy, I think they'll be really good. Their young players are getting some run, so they're gonna get a little bit of development while the Enrique's co-stars are on the mend. So yeah, I mean, there's not too much to say about them. The Enrique honestly looks better. To be honest, she's not one of my favorite players. I think she's a little bit overrated just because she's kind of a volume shooter. The efficiency is not always there with her. If you want to fight me, just check the stats, bro. Like, to be honest, but she looks a lot better this year. I wouldn't say a lot better, but defensively, I would say looks pretty good. I felt like last year she was a bit of a liability, and this year she's really tough defensively. So, yeah, I think they'll be good if they can, like I said, if they can stay healthy once they get healthy, they'll be really good. Phoenix will be better and has been better with BG back in the lineup. DT, I didn't say this last episode, but I honestly thought DT was washed last year. I think probably most WNBA fans did, but she has had quite a resurgence this season. So that's awesome to see. They obviously have Kalia Copper. So I think, Phoenix, also another team that's in the mix. This is what I'm saying about the W. There's a lot of good teams, a lot of stars out there. Like Mario, trying to grab them stars, okay? And yeah, that's pretty much what I have about Phoenix. They're honestly one of the teams I haven't been watching that much either, so I apologize, but, yeah, that's it. The Dream is struggling. Might be due to a problem I think the Lynx have, just not being able to make up for around their star, Ryan Howard, who also kind of had a slow start to the year, so that might also be contributing to it. I also think last year was kind of a magical year. They had three first-time All-Stars, but Ryan Howard was a second-year player, so, obviously. But they had three, I think, first-time All-Stars. Alicia Gray might have been an All-Star before, but if not, that was like a few years ago. But anyway, I think that might have been just a magical season. And like I said, like I've been saying, the W is getting better. So they were kind of a team that I felt like didn't do much in the offseason. And I feel like it's becoming a league where if you're kind of relying on just natural player development, it's not gonna do it, because other teams are making moves, other teams are acquiring stars, other teams are acquiring solid role players that they're filling out potentially championship rosters, while you're sitting there developing players. Come on. Nah, I don't know. Probably. It's probably something like that. But I really like Ryan Howard. She's honestly one of my favorite players in the league. So I hope the Dream can start picking it up. Anyway, trying to think. That's pretty much all I have for basketball. I might be coming with a movie episode at some point. I think I said that last week too, so we'll see when that comes. But I have been watching more movies. It's been an adjustment. I just started a full-time job a couple months ago, so kind of finding how to watch what I need and what I want and do what I want and what I need, and kind of finding that balance for everything and finding the right schedule. So, bear with us, but we're gonna get those movie talks out to you. Anyway, like I said, I believe that's gonna do it for me from Max from Max. Do the outro. For me, Max DeMeza at 91 North, 95 South. Thank you guys for watching, listening, consuming the content. We love consumption, consumers, consumerism, capitalism. Feed the beast, man. Yeah, bull markets, man. Yeah, man. Martha Washington was a hip lady, man. Tell me what movie that's from. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your favorite movies. Tell me your favorite WNBA teams, players, whatever. Start a conversation. I'll say what's up. Thank you, guys. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and good night.